Hello and welcome to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, Winchester, Frederick County edition. Justin Kern's in his car recording from a parking lot somewhere in
I am parked.
Winchester.
I am not breaking the no cars rule. I am parked. We skipped all the chit chat today. We are ready to jump right into this. I'm telling you.
It's Winter Village. It's one of my favorite topics and one of my favorite events every year.
Yeah, who doesn't love a 3-day Christmas market? Come on, except for the people that are working it, but
Well,
everybody
some
else
of the
loves
people
it. Yeah.
working it are making some serious buck because I spend a lot of money at Winchester Winter Village.
You know what? That is very true. Our vendors, we have really good vendors, and we had most of them come back this year, and then we were able to actually add a lot of space. I think we've got 17, 18 more vendors this year, so we've got 46 or 47 total, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, we were at like 28 last year, 27 or 28 last year.
So it kicks off Friday
Yeah.
evening, right, with the pub crawl.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the first full weekend after Thanksgiving. So it's going to be December 5, 6, and 7. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The vendors this year, we switched it so the vendors don't open up until Saturday because nobody was going to them on Friday night and it was stressful and cold. And it was better just to have them open on Saturday. So the whole vendor village will be set up on Saturday and Sunday. They open at, I believe, 11 a.m. on Saturday and 10 a.m. on Sunday. So we'll have the vendors out there Saturday and Sunday. But Friday kicks off with no vendors, but they are doing, once again, the Santa Crawl. And they've done this the past several years. This has been part of it the entire time. Donnie over with the Ivy Chest, she takes this on her own. This is a huge commitment of hers. It benefits Froggy's Closet. That's a charity that's very near and dear to her heart. She does a tremendous amount of work getting all of that set up and running that entire thing. If you go on our website, if you go on winchesterwintervillage.com, you can click right on the event schedule and there's a link to the Friday Santa Crawl. You'll see all the restaurants. I didn't check in the last couple of days how many restaurants they have on there, but they had a number of restaurants on there 2 weeks ago. So there's a good chunk of restaurants, and you get a wristband and you go in and get a discount on drinks and all that good stuff. And it goes to a great charity.
It is a fun night. It's a really great way to kick
is.
off the Winter Village because you get to come downtown, see all the lights. It's just beautiful.
And it's our adults only version. I think originally they had wanted the very first year, they're like, hey, why don't we do this on Saturday? And we're like, we don't know if a bunch of people who have been running around to bars dressed up like fun Santas are going to get confused with the real Santa who's going to be there at the tent. Maybe let's not mix those two things. So let's do the fun dressed up goofy people just like Santa on Friday night so that the real Santa doesn't get confused on Saturday. So it's for a nice Friday night. You don't have to worry about all the family stuff. You can just be an adult and run around and have a good time. And it should be a lot of fun. Yeah, it always is. People dress up real fun for it. And yeah, it's always a good time.
Will the layout be the same for Saturday and Sunday since you've added more vendors?
We have shifted that around again. So we're just in our third year. So we're still learning. We're still growing. So we will have the majority. We're going to fit about 30 of the vendor tents in the main courthouse lawn area. We did a square last year and it looked cool on a map, but there was all this kind of awkward space in the middle. There was no flow. So we looked at how European Christmas markets do this, how they've done this traditionally, how other markets do it. And they usually will pair up the tents and they'll do it in kind of a random order. So there's flow and it feels a lot more intimate and there's a warm, cozy kind of feel around and you can wander around and meander around versus being forced to go in a line, right? Nobody wants to be forced to go in a line. So that's how the setup's going to be. The map is on the website. Again, winchesterwintervillage.com. You can click the map is uploaded for this year and it has all the vendors on there and it has where their locations are going to be and what that map is actually going to look like. So we have, I want to say about 30, 31 right there. And then we have an info tent at the end of the Feltner building. So right there across from the Bright Box. So we'll have an info tent right there. And then we'll also have a gift wrapping station right there next to where all of the tents are going to be. So we will have, I think there's one charity doing it on Saturday and another charity doing it on Sunday. You make a donation and they'll wrap the presents for you. We thought that was a nice touch to it. And then on the south side of that, the Feltner lot, which is right along Boscawen there, is where the kids' tent is going to be in the Kinder Village with the Santa and the Grinch and all of that. So that's going to be the same. They're going to do a flow through this year instead of a one way in, one way out. You'll be able to flow through the entire tent and come out on the other side because it was causing some congestion, and there's going to be a big stroller parking area. So they're working really hard to make that as user friendly as they possibly can. And then over in the Taylor Pavilion. So that's if you're listening, you're not quite sure what that is. That's that area right behind where the big fancy pretty Taylor Hotel is with the big columns, and you've got the walkway where McAdoo's was. The Taylor Pavilion is that recessed grass area where there's the steps, and they do some concerts in there. So in that space, they're going to be building out that stage and making a much larger stage in that area. So we can't really use that lower area, but we're putting the wishing trees, we're expanding the wishing trees from 3 to 6 because the wishing trees always fill up. So we're doubling the number of wishing trees, putting them there in that nice big prominent area. And Donnie is going to do some hanging lights in there and some curtain lights and make it really beautiful right in there. So that's where the wishing tree is going to be.
That's the perfect spot for it because anybody
Yeah.
can get to it. It's under cover. So if a
Yep.
random shower happens, everything is protected. That's really smart putting it there.
And it's nice and open, and everybody will walk past it. And we'll have signs for it too. It's on the map too. But if you don't know what we're talking about, the wishing tree, it's a very simple thing. It's free. We'll just have 6 Christmas trees, and those are donated Christmas trees to us every year. We'll have 6 Christmas trees, live Christmas trees, and we'll have a couple of tables, and I have just a little card, just a little slip of paper and a little tie. And you can make any kind of wish you want. You can wish for world peace if there's somebody that needs a prayer, if there's something that you feel like you need, or you need to make a wish or something, you just make that on that little note and stick it on the tree and put it up there. And we have seen some really, really touching, beautiful notes we've been through some of those before.
I was just
Really,
making
really
a note.
touching.
I'll put a link because I think our December show last year, you had them in your office and you pulled out a bunch of them and read them on the air for our show. So I'll pull that link and put it in the show notes so people get
There
an
were
idea of what they can write.
hundreds of them. Yes, we just love to be able to do that. So we'll have that. We'll have on the north end on Saturday afternoon. So I think from about 11 to 2-ish or until they run out, Violanos is doing once again the roasted chestnuts. So they do those for free because that's just an awesome family and they're really cool and they like to do that. And if you've never had fresh roasted chestnuts over an open fire, they do them. And you can go and get your little paper cup of them and they just give them to you for free just because they're nice and they're really cool. So if you've never done that, it's awesome to start with that and walk down the mall and have your nice little warm hot roasted chestnuts in your hand. We've also got the glue wine trail, the hot spiced wine. So we have a whole bunch of restaurants that are participating in that. That weekend is Adora weekend from Friday through Sunday. So that means that if you get an alcoholic beverage like glue wine at one of the establishments, then you can carry it as long as it's in a properly marked cup. You can carry it around outside with you. So I would say definitely go in one of those restaurants, get a nice warm cup of mulled wine and bring that around and carry that around with you. And there's also a bunch of restaurants doing hot cocoa and also doing the Kinder Punch, which is basically just like a non-alcoholic kids version of glue wine. So it's like a spice cider kind of thing. So anybody can get any of those and walk up and down. We also have Moon Phased. They're going to have about 15 vendors down on the south end of the mall, set up from about Hideaway up to about where the church is. So they're going to have 15 vendors down there. So I'm counting that towards our 46. So we've got 15 or so down there and 30-ish or so in the main courthouse lawn. So we'll have those 2 kind of vendor areas and 2 kind of different themed vendor areas. And then there's also going to be, again, like we had last year, Corey is going to put up the selfie lighted, there's like a big lighted ornament that you can do a selfie or picture underneath at the splash pad. So make sure you go down towards the splash pad on your way down to seeing all the vendors down there. And we're doing the horse and carriage rides. So the horse and carriage rides, I think we're supposed to call them horse and wagon rides. We're doing those again. We've done those the last 2 years. We were very fortunate. We were able to get a second team of horses. So we use Shenandoah Carriage Company exclusively. They treat their horses amazingly well. That's important for us. They only run their teams for about 3 hours. They won't run them longer than 3 hours. So we were only able to do it in the past for 3 hours, and then we had to stop. They had someone else cancel, and we were able to get the other team of horses. So we're running from 12 to 6 on Saturday with free horse and cart rides. So those are free. They're first come, first serve from 12 to 6. They line up down close to where Back to the Media is on the south end of the walking mall near the splash pad, and you'll see where the line is. We always ran into way more demand than we had to be able to go, and there was always people that couldn't get on. So we've been working really hard. We're very excited to be able to get that second team of horses. So we do have 2 back-to-back teams. There'll be 2 different teams, but one will go from 12 to 3, one will go from 3 to 6. So we'll have them the entire time. If you miss them that weekend, the following Saturday, the 13th, Saturday the 13th, the following Saturday, we will have them down again as well. So the horse and carriage will be there. The Winter Village won't be going on, but the horse and carriage will be there from 12 to 3, doing the free horse and cart rides again that following weekend. So if you miss them the weekend of the Winter Village, you're out of town, whatever it is, or you just can't get on there, they will be down there the following weekend as well.
Let's take a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about some of the cool, fun stuff that you're going to have in that Kinder Village, because kids really have a blast in there. And there's more. There's still more things that are
Yep.
going to be happening on Sunday and throughout the day on Saturday. So can we wrap that up in the next segment?
Absolutely.
We are on the Zooms today with Justin Kearns. It is Winchester Frederick County Tourism Tuesday. We're going to come back and talk more with him in just a couple of minutes.
Okay. I don't think Janet knows I'm recording this. She just stepped away to get another cup of coffee, so here's my chance. Hey everyone, it's Andy from the United Way of the Northern Shenandoah Valley. And yes, Janet, if you're hearing this, surprise, we're still celebrating the Valley Today's 2500th episode and this awesome community fundraiser you came up with. Here's the deal. Between now and the end of the year, it's Janet's goal to raise $2,500 to support the great work of the nonprofits in this community. If you give just $25 or more, you're going to be entered into a chance to be a guest on the show with Janet. If you give $250 or more, we'll make you a commercial just like this one that will air on the Valley Today podcast. So go to givebutter.com/The Valley Today right now before Janet realizes that I've hijacked her airtime. She's walking back in, cup of coffee in hand, gotta go. Remember to donate between now and the end of the year and support the great work of so many nonprofits and celebrate 2,500 episodes of the Valley Today.
Welcome back to the Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday, Winchester Frederick County edition. Justin Kearns is on the Zooms with me today, giving all of the details for the Winchester Winter Village Santa Crawl on Friday night, December 5th, and then full-on Winter Village from 11 until, is it 4 o'clock,
6.
Justin, on Saturday?
11 to 6 on Saturday and 10 to 4 on Sunday.
And you'll have live music both days.
We do, yes. So we are fortunate to live in a very musical town. There are a lot of great people who can sing and play instruments here, much better than myself. So on Saturday, we will have a wassailing group. They will be walking around wassailing. They have like outfits and everything. So they're going to be walking around doing the wassailing thing. If you don't know what wassailing is, look it up. Wassailing, wassailing. It's a traditional European holiday sort of singing. So anyways, though, we have a wassailing group going around on Saturday, and we will also have the City of Winchester Pipes and Drums, also known as CowPad. They will be there a good chunk of the afternoon on Saturday. They are impossible to miss. If you've not heard the City of Winchester Pipes and Drums, just walk there, stand for a few seconds, listen, and just follow your ears and you'll find them. They're very loud. But they will be walking up and down the walking mall. They're kind of roving. Everybody will be roving on that Saturday. One other thing I thought of, so we had talked about we'll have the chestnuts, the hot roasted chestnuts from about 11 to 1 or 11 to 2 on the north end of the walking mall. On the south end, a little bit further down, you have the cheese shop. Fleur de Lis, we've had her on before, and she last year had the most amazing thing, and I hope she's not listening because she's told me this like 20 times and it just won't stick in my head. But she's got that traditional European thing. They get this big block of cheese and it's got this crank on it, and there's this heating element above it. And so they very slowly turn this crank and it moves this big block of cheese up towards this heating element, and it melts the top layer of cheese. And then they get this bread. They usually get the bread from Need Bread, some fresh bread, and then they scoop off this melty, gooey layer of cheese onto this bread. And you can get it as like a sandwich with a piece of prosciutto in there, or they'll just give it to you as the chunk of cheese on a piece of bread. It's so amazing. It's so good. It's 8,000 calories, but it's so good, especially if it's chilly outside. That is the most amazing thing. I've had that at a European Christmas market, and I was just like, that stuck in my head of all the things, the glühwein and that the cheese on the bread. And I'm so sorry if you're listening to this and I can't remember the name of it, but it'll be on our map and it'll be on all the stuff. So if you're looking for a really cool kind of quick grab, little bite, warm European thing, go down to the cheese shop, and she'll have it out front. She has this whole thing and she sets up the contraption out front. So it'll be close down to where they're loading the horses for the horse and carriage. There are also some music performances in the community at some of the churches and the universities. So we have those on our website as well, on winchesterwintervillage.com. wintervillage.com, we will be listing out those performances in case you want to come to the Winter Village and then go inside and see a performance. We make sure to list all those community performances as well.
The Kinder Village that you talked about
Yes.
earlier, there are so many activities and there are crafts, there are characters walking around. It really is a fun day for parents to bring their kids.
It is. If you haven't been to this thing, it's almost shoulder to shoulder in the walking mall from like 11 to 2. It's a great place to bring your kids. Obviously, if you get cold, you can dip into one of the stores or something, walk around, warm up, and then come back out. The Kinder Village, I think I'm not positive. I think off the top of my head, it's a 30 by 60 tent. So a great big tent. And it's got 2 rooms. The first room is a waiting area, a craft area, just a free thing. You can go in and sit down at the tables and make ornaments, I think, with the kids. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's some kind of a wooden ornament, I think, this year. I'm not positive. But she's doing something where they're going to have those free crafts in there. So you can go in, sit down with your kids, warm up, just a nice relaxing place. You can park the stroller outside and it's a nice, safe, quiet area for you to hang out in with the kids. And then the line starts from in there and goes into the next room where you have Santa and the Grinch. And so Santa is obviously, he's Santa. He's amazing. We love having Santa. It's a big request in every year, but we get him every year for this. It's very fortunate to get him down here for this. And then we also got the Grinch. And the Grinch, if he's scary, you don't need to walk up to him. But he's fun. He's really polite. This is the big-hearted Grinch at the end of the movie, not the angry Grinch at the beginning. This is the big-hearted Grinch.
You need to give them each a clicker just out of curiosity to see how many kids want to sit or talk to the Grinch versus Santa.
Right.
We need to do a little contest.
Right. We should do that. And obviously, the Christmas tree will be up in the middle of Old Town as well, and that's all lit up. And then if you haven't been to Old Town recently, we were very fortunate to get a good vendor and put up white lights in the canopies of all the trees last year. Those are still up there. We kept them on. We keep those on year round. The city was a huge help. Corey and his team and Justin his team, they were fantastic in being able to get those lights up for us. And then they put up during the holidays, they actually wrapped the trunk as well. So that's the added part. And they have just done that. They've been doing that this week, is putting up the wraps on the trunks. So you have all the trunks and all the canopies lit from one gateway to the other gateway, all the way up and down. So if you wait until it gets dark about like 4:30 or so now for 4:45, it is just so gorgeous up and down the walking mall. And again, we're going to have those horse and cart trips going until 6. So if you want to have that kind of under the lights and under the canopy, come a little bit later in the day and get one of those slightly later rides.
All of this is free. Like, I don't have to buy a ticket other than participating in the Santa Crawl, where I do need a ticket, but all of the shopping
and that goes to charity.
Live music and all of that sort of stuff doesn't cost anything. It's free admission. Just come downtown and walk the mall.
No. Absolutely. Yeah. That was the mission and the vision from the very beginning of this when we first sat down, I don't know, 3.5 years ago or so, and said, hey, we want to do this. But the purpose of it is to have people come to Old Town and go into the businesses and go into the restaurants and go shopping and just spend time in the downtown. And if we are making people pay to get into the thing or to do this or to do that, then that's money that they might not spend in one of our businesses. We're hoping that that money gets reinvested back into our businesses. And they've really seemed to enjoy it. They've said that they've had really good success. You don't have to buy a ton of stuff. You can just browse if you want to, but it's just a great atmosphere. It's a very family-friendly atmosphere. It's just a warm and cozy. Everybody loves that. It's like you're just dropping into this warm holiday kind of spirit area, and it's so nice. It's so good to be part of.
And you are very cognizant when we were talking earlier about all of the vendors. You are very careful to make sure that all of the vendors are, for the most part, making what they're selling. So it's not a lot of commercial items, and none of them are necessarily competing with the businesses that are located on the Old Town Walking Mall. So it just expands my variety of things I have access to during the Winter Village.
Thank you for bringing that up. I should have mentioned that. So we have a vendor vetting committee. We review all of the vendor applications every year. We are very careful to not overstep into what the local businesses are doing, what the brick and mortar businesses are doing. We definitely have several that we have to turn away every year because they are directly competing with our brick and mortar businesses. And that's not what we want, right? We want everyone to have a great experience shopping, and we want all the vendors to not be competing too much with each other or not be competing with the businesses. We want to have a nice wide variety, and it's better experience for the consumer too, for the person who goes down and visits. So you can see a bunch of different stuff, right? We've got vendors doing all sorts of interesting things. We got some of the really good ones back too. We're really excited to see some of the big good ones that come back, and the jerky guys are back and the wood turners are back. We've got some really good stuff that's back here. These vendors are great and we love seeing them back year after year. But yeah, we try to be very careful and intentional with how we set them up and how they're organized throughout the entire thing, the different variety of vendors that we have. Thank you for bringing that up.
I got a mug the first year that you
Mm-hmm.
did this, and it was Potter. I think she's based in Berryville. And it was my absolute all-time, always favorite mug. And I dropped it and broke it in the sink a couple of months ago.
No, you
Devastated.
didn't.
Sent my husband a picture, and he's like, "Oh, I think I can fix that." And then I sent him a second picture, and he's like, "Oh no, I didn't see all those other pieces, so I think I can fix that."
Oh,
So, and she has been there every single year. I got another mug from her when I was there last year, so I'm hoping she's back this year, so I can get hopefully a replica of the one that I got a couple of years ago, because it was the perfect mug. It was the perfect size. It was orange. All of the things.
I know the perfect mug. Everybody has a favorite mug, and I've got a favorite mug, and I would cry if I broke my favorite mug. Yeah, it would be sad. But we are doing mugs again, so we do a collector's mug every year. Past 2 years, we've had your standard coffee mug sort of thing. This year, we're very lucky we found a local potter who was able to make a limited run of custom mugs just for this. I think there's only like 50 of them that we're doing, but they're going to be really cool. They're like a white with a blue rim around the top and then the logo on there. And they're made in Old Town Winchester by a local potter in Winchester. You don't get much more local than that. And they're very limited. They're numbered 1 through 50, I think. So if you can find one, we'll have a couple at the visitor center. We'll have a couple of businesses in Old Town that have them. Niblin's will have some. I think a couple other businesses will have some. And good luck if you can find one. I think there's going to be 49 because I'm going to buy one.
Oh, I will find one. I'm going to call or message Victoria at Hideaway and Lanita at Espresso Bar and say, if you have any, save them. I will be in.
At least one, if not both of them, usually stock a couple of the Winter Village mugs. So yeah, look for them there.
So where can people go, find the map, figure out where they want to go, who's going to be there, see a list of the vendors? Sure. Where is the best first place?
The easiest thing is winchesterwintervillage.com. You can just Google Winchester Winter Village. And we also have the information on our website as well. Visit winchesterva.com. But the main house for all of the information is winchesterwintervillage.com. And I would be remiss not to mention that we are partnering really closely this year with Friends of Old Town and Brady and his great small board, all the work that they do down there. And they've been invaluable partners with us. So they are doing a lot of work. This is really a partnership project now, which is where we were trying to get this in the very beginning, is to turn it into a partnership project and make it better and better every year. And we can't do that in a silo. We're bringing in more people and more people in the community to help with this. So we're very proud to be working with them, and they couldn't be better partners.
I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving. I know we're going to skip a show in December, so I'm also going to say Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. I'll see you in 2026, I guess. Yeah.
Seems kind of weird, doesn't it?
No, because I'm working on my 2027 budget right now. So
right, your brain is in a time machine, much like mine.
Local government, man, local government.
Thank you for sitting in your car and recording this with me today.
It's been getting darker and darker. Have you noticed? I've been getting darker. It is now nighttime officially, and cold and rainy. So I'm excited to turn the car on.
I will be back tomorrow with a brand new episode of The Valley Today, a few minutes after noon. So meet me here then.